Dwayne and Sean.
Yo, what up, y'all? What up, YouTube Live?
We're on YouTube. So please go on YouTube if you want, if you can. 90.7 FM if you're in the Phoenix, Mesa area, Tempe. Please like, share, follow. Y'all on Threads. Please follow on Threads.
Like, share, subscribe.
Necessarily reflect the views or positions of Desert Soul Media and its board of directors. Thank you for listening.
This week on the Keep 1 Million show, Dame Lillard wants out at Portland. We're going to talk what's the best team for Damian Lillard besides Miami, as Portland is looking for the best deal. We're also going to talk in the dog days of summer. There's going to be some big dog fights this summer as boxing has some key fights in the heavyweight and the middleweight divisions. We're also going to get into Mark Zuckerberg just unveiled a brand new app that may change social media. Are you on Threads? We're also going to get into ESPN just has a major shakeup as a lot of their key personalities has got the axe. We're going to talk about that and more from the past week of the sports world and beyond right here on the Keep It 1 Million show.
We got 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Oh, wow.
If you want to listen to the
That's
music,
crazy.
go to
90.7 FM.
90.7 FM, or you can go to KRDB Jazz at listen to KRDB.com.
That's huge.
Oh, what is
It may
it?
be over for Skip Bayless. No, he's saying that. Reading Skip Bayless is taking a 2-month hiatus because he's struggling to replace Shannon Sharp.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that this morning. Oh, not this morning. Before I came in here,
Yeah.
I took that as I just took that as more they waiting for somebody to replace him. Like they take 2 months to get somebody in there. You know, they had a lot of suggestions, but you know they let a lot of people at ESPN go. Maybe somebody might want to take it over there, but
Right.
come over there. But
Oh, I was going to say Jalen Rose, but no.
the guy I was listening to, he suggested Jalen Rose.
No.
But,
Jalen Rose hates Skip Bayless.
Yeah, but he said like both of them are professionals. But I said nah, he ain't gonna
That's
do that.
personal. He hates Skip Bayless.
Yeah, it's
I
personal
just
with
thought
them
about
two.
like, wait, no, never mind. No.
It's quite personal with them, because Jalen, he feels like a lot of cats felt about
Right, he says some kind of racist stuff, man.
Yeah, maybe so, but I think it was more so about like when he was calling Chris Bosh Spice and just trying emasculating dudes and calling them that. Just like, come on, man. Like he said, then he brought in that you never played. Now I don't like when they say that you never played, so you can't report on it. Because I can easily say, well, you didn't go to journalism school. Like you didn't do this and this. You know, so I don't like when people say you never played, so you can't talk about it. You know, I don't like when people say that.
Wow.
You know, I'm on mic number 3.
Okay. What's up? How you doing?
This jam back in the day when I was a kid, man, high school.
Said 3.
Yeah, 3.
Waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting for a long time. But we ain't gonna wait no more. We're getting ready to rock and roll. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we're back to Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And we're live here.
Yes,
on
sir.
July 6, 2023. Happy belated 4th.
Yes.
You know, you guys still celebrate the 4th. Some people don't. Some people still do. I don't know if you do. Do you celebrate the 4th? And you got children.
Yeah, I got kids. We go to the fire because I go to fireworks for the kids, and I go over to people's houses. Like my homeboy, he was grilling, so we do that. It's more for me. It's more of a get together and everything.
Right.
You know, the kids they love the fireworks. We was out in Buckeye, saw the fireworks.
It's like, yeah, more for the kids, right?
Yeah,
Right.
just like every other holiday.
So, yeah, happy 4th, belated 4th, everybody.
Yes, sir.
And well, this past, summer, NBA free agency has been crazy.
Oh yeah.
A lot of new, a lot of players with new team. No, matter of fact, most players have stayed. Got the bag. They stayed on their respective teams. Notably Kyrie Irving.
What they say,
some others.
running back.
Yeah, and the biggest one right now is Damian Lillard, he had just requested a trade this past week, and so everyone's kind of figuring out, where can he go? He says he wants to go to Miami. How is that going to work out and everything? His representative has mentioned or told other teams that possibly would want to trade for him that if they trade for him, they're going to get an angry player, which is, kind of saying that, obviously he doesn't want to be on that team. I've heard that other, representatives have talked about this, about their players when, coming out of the draft, tell their player not to draft that, certain said player. But in this case, how do you feel about, Damian Lillard wants to be traded. He's still under contract, and he's, forcing his way out. He wants to just go to one team, Miami. Do you think he has any leverage?
He has maybe the loyalty leverage where he's loyal to them for a great amount of years. But I don't see any other leverage because the thing is, all right, I get why he wants to go to Miami. He wants to play with Bam and he wants to play with Jimmy, and it's Miami. I mean, you can't beat that. But Portland it has been said by Wojo and Windhorst and Rebecca Stroman on ESPN. They talk about this. They said that people are saying that Miami doesn't have the assets really to get it done. So man, and then for them to say, "Oh, you want to have a mad player?" Like, dude, like, hey, be a professional. They trying to get you to a contender. And I heard that Jason Tatum is
right.
Jason Tatum has been in Dame's ear a little bit. Which being a Sixer fan, I don't want to see it. Well, Miami's on the East Coast too, but
Well, the Sixers or another team that maybe.
But he's not on. That's not on the list.
to-
Now, do I think that could work? Him, Dame Lillard, and Embiid? Oh God, yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
He really wants to play in Miami. He really wants that. So
Right. And the thing is, these teams that they're talking about, not just Miami, would be the Celtics, 76ers. There was a story I just seen saying that if it wasn't for the Chris Paul trade, he may have been traded to Golden State.
man,
There's Minnesota Timberwolves. There's the Spurs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that may want to trade. The thing about it is, Portland wants a lot
Yeah.
for Damian Lillard,
As they should.
and rightfully
As they
so. If you remember the Kevin Durant trade, Brooklyn got a haul for Kevin Durant. A bunch of draft picks. Right now, I just seen a tweet from Wojciechowski that's stating that the Suns and another team just traded a bunch of draft picks because that's all the draft picks that they sent to Brooklyn for Kevin Durant. They just traded with another team to get some of those draft picks back. So I think it was with the I'll look it up later, but the thing is, for Portland though, draft picks aren't enough. They need a star player to play day one, coming this upcoming season, and Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Bam Adebayo is off limits, and with the 76ers, they're saying Tyrese Maxey is off limits.
Yeah.
I mean, with the package like James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, a bunch of draft picks, that could have been right there. He could have been traded yesterday to the 76ers. When Brian Windhorst is talking about it may be a 5-team trade, because of all what Portland wants and what everybody would want and would want to get back. I mean, this is a very complicated situation because of who Damian Lillard is and the fact that he's in the middle of a 4-year contract. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, but the question, who is the best team besides Miami is the best fit for Damian Lillard? Let's say, he gets traded and he turns around and is like, okay, I like this team. I may want to stay. I mean, what will be that best team for him?
You know what? If he went, I hate to say it, if he went to Boston, man, that'd be killer, man. Because he would be an instant starter at the point guard, and they would have to trade Jaylen Brown in a multi-team trade or send them to Portland. So that would be crazy to see that. The instant, that would be an instant championship caliber team. Philly would be a good fit if they traded Harden and got Dame Lillard there. That means Dame Lillard would play the point, and then they have Maxey at the 2. And Maxey, he can play the 2 guard. So that'd be a good fit there, and of course he'd be a good fit in Boston. So in Miami, but Boston would just be ugly, ugly in a good way. I mean, you're just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Right, and they just got
Kristaps Porzingis.
The thing is, they would have to trade, Jaylen Brown, a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah.
They just traded away Grant Williams to Dallas.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, that was just yesterday. They traded him to Dallas for draft picks and whatnot. Yeah, matter of fact, speaking of that trade, the Suns and Memphis Grizzlies had swapped a bunch of draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
So, Phoenix gets the 20th pick of next year's draft. Memphis goes down to the 25th pick.
Okay.
So, and then a bunch of future draft picks. So, for them to recoup on the draft picks that was lost. I see Boston being a great team, but I would think another great team, and me and a friend of mine talked about this, to be honest with you, would be Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
That's a very, very dark horse team because, you know, that's not a destination place, you know, team that people wants to go to, but they're formed their, you know, championship. That's a championship caliber roster.
Yeah.
And they have a major asset that Portland would want in Chris Middleton.
Oh,
You know,
it'd be Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton being the centerpiece of that trade, with, you know, trading with, you know, you're bringing in for Portland a wing because you have a bunch of point guards that they have. You know, they have Scoot. They have two other point guards, young point guards. They will need a wing. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reason why the trade is here to begin with, because they drafted another point guard, and you know, Dame was like, well, I'm not trying to stay for a rehaul. I'm not trying to.
I'm not trying to rebuild.
You're not trying to rebuild. Not trying to teach these younger players. I want to win now.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I think a dark horse team would be Milwaukee.
I've been hearing another dark horse team, which was New Orleans. I've been hearing rumors about that. They would have to probably they would probably give up Brandon Ingram, and that. Could you possibly see Dame Lillard teaming back up with McCullough and Zion? That'd be pretty wicked too. But that was a real dark horse thing I saw online.
Well, yeah, the New Orleans possible trade, I think that's a better, I would say a more viable trade than, say, the Milwaukee Bucks, because you have someone young like Zion Williamson, and a team in Portland that wants to get younger but needs a young centerpiece, right?
Yeah.
To keep the butts in the seats. So you have that as, you know, Zion Williamson. Chris Middleton is not an electrifying player. He's a great player. You know, he's one of the top wings right now in basketball. He's injury prone, but he's not Zion, right?
Oh yeah, man, Zion.
You know,
I just saw a clip of Charles Barkley on Instagram, and Zion is he's a taller Charles Barkley dude. Like that's how Barkley was. And he's more athletic than Barkley, but that type of power, that raw power, and could have a nice little jump shot. Yeah, he's
right. And the thing is, you know, yeah, Zion has some personal issues, but in this day and age, you know, they don't want to deal with those type of issues. So that could be something New Orleans needs to look into. But with Portland want to go so big, they might. Let's say New Orleans tries to talk to them, they're gonna want to say something like, "We want Brandon Ingram," and you know Brandon Ingram is gonna be out of the question. That's their franchise player. That's the player that actually got them to the playoffs. He's their top player right now, and I think they're gonna make it so difficult for Dame. This may take all the way to maybe like August or maybe even right before the new season. So I'm gonna come right back.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk more free agency. There's some trades that happened in the past few days. We're gonna recap that and get into some boxing as well. So keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million Show.
39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety
I can hear
Administration,
me, and
Project
it's
Yellow
kinda-
Light, and the Ad Council.
I can't hear you. What's going on here?
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I
And then
still
put the-
had that longing to have my diploma.
At
Mic
age
down.
30, Carissa
Yeah,
finished
like
her high
that.
school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school
See
diploma,
something
you could do
because
it.
No one gets a
levels
diploma
is right.
alone. If you're
It's just-
thinking of finishing your
I
high school
can't hear
diploma,
you.
you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Okay, we're back. Heat 1 million show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean Pate.
Okay, and like I said, we're talking NBA free agency, which is coming on the tail end of it. This is the last day of free agency,
Okay.
and like I said, Grant Williams he did get traded to the Dallas Mavericks. He got traded to the Dallas Mavericks for, I think, some draft picks, if I'm not mistaken. It was a bunch of rookie max deals, as LaMelo Ball gets a max deal.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Dylan Brooks who got a max deal.
All right.
A lot of players from the 2020 draft actually got paid. They got paid really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew LaMelo was gonna get his money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. What transaction or free agency thing that you looked at was interesting?
Pretty much everything seemed standard. I did think that I thought that Los Angeles, the Lakers would go after Brook Lopez a little harder.
Mhm.
They didn't. And he got the money from Milwaukee, which I get it because all Milwaukee was doing was running it back. So with that, also with the two guys from Denver, one was with Bruce Brown.
Yeah, he
And-
goes to Indianapolis.
Yeah, he went to Indianapolis. That kind of surprised me a little bit. I would have thought he would have stayed and just ran it back with Denver, but go get your money. He already got the ring, so
Mhm.
go get your money. That's all I can really say. That nothing really like surprised me. It was just like, oh, okay, he did that. Oh, okay, I get that move. I get it.
Yeah. DeJounte Murray with the Hawks gets a 4-year, $112 million extension. And yeah, the Bruce Brown situation was kind of interesting because he had a good series, but $20 million a year. I mean, that's kind of shocking. The Pacers really overpaid.
Yeah.
They overpaid.
Yep.
They really did. And trying to find some other trades and things of in free agency, what's going on.
Oh, you know what? Kyrie Irving. That did kind
He
of.
stayed. He got a big contract.
He got a big contract, but I thought he would go a little harder in free agency. I guess he saw that nobody was really checking for him.
Right.
Nobody was really,
The Lakers did, but I don't think they couldn't pay him enough as Dallas could.
Yeah.
So, and then the moves the Lakers made, which are really pretty good moves.
They're good moves.
They got some solid young talent to add to Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. I think they got rid of Dennis Schroeder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they added some more players. They got rid of Mo Bamba.
Yeah,
He
Mo
left, and
they also did they sign D'Lo?
Yeah, they re-signed. They
Okay.
re-signed everybody, added a couple more players,
Okay.
and I don't think it was enough. They couldn't bring in Kyrie Irving as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just mean in general, like nobody, like him or James Harden, nobody was really checking for them. No, nobody was like,
Right.
everybody was pretty much. And I know Harden, he opted in, so it just surprised me because Kyrie still got some game in him. But it just shows you where the market was, and I'm curious to see how it's going to work with him and Luka, this with a full season. Curious to that.
Right. And the thing is, going to the James Harden situation, he opted in. To think that they're going to trade him, do you think they're going to trade?
No, I think he's
him?
going to be. I think he's going to be a Sixer next season. And if they trade him, it'll be during like the trade deadline or something. But I believe that he's going to be a Sixer next season. And I mean, he had a good regular season. I mean, he led the league in assists, averaged 20 points a game. I believe if he didn't average 10 assists, it was dang near that.
Right.
So that's pretty much averaging a double. I mean, he had a really good season. It was just stuff with him was always the postseason. How
Speaking
bad
of
does he really want
Obama,
it?
he agrees to a 1-year deal with the Sixers.
Oh, okay.
So
It's a backup center.
he's going to be a backup, and the thing is, hey, talk about the Sixers. Would this be enough? For them to try to run it back, to try to get past the second round or the first round.
No, second round. You get past second round with them.
Right.
Well, no, Obama. He's a guy that's going can relieve Joel Embiid of some minutes and stuff like that. He's that guy. He's gonna be that guy. And they picked up Pat Bev as well. Pat Bev's not the Pat Bev from 5, 6, 7 years ago, but he still can play. He still can
Right.
D up and stuff like that. He can still give you some quality minutes. So I don't know. They still missing something. They can get them to the conference finals and possibly the NBA finals.
Right. And the Knicks, they traded away Obi Toppin for a couple of second round draft picks to Indiana.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And they actually picked up his brother in the draft. So, it's kind of strange that happens.
Yeah.
But he wasn't getting any minutes. If anybody knows Coach Thibodeau, he's the type, he's rather, coach older, more established players and give them all the minutes. And younger players aren't really good with Thibodeau. In contrast, Emmanuel Quigley is probably the only young player that actually has gotten minutes and more than 20 minutes a game because of how great he is as a young player. But hopefully Obi Toppin shines out there in Indy with the team they have. Maybe, I don't know. They have kind of a good wing situation over there with Halliburton and Miles Turner and those guys. So yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure if they come out as a playoff bound team, but
we'll see.
And I think I did talk about this about the NBA World Cup. Team USA, they unveiled their team for this year's World Cup, which is in the Philippines in August.
Okay.
Hold on. And it's Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
I got the whole roster right here. I'm just pulling it up here. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, Brandon Ingram, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Mikal Bridges, Jared Jackson Jr., Paolo Banchero, Austin Reeves, Josh Hart, Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, and Bobby Portis.
Okay.
Think that'd be a good enough team for them to win the gold? It was third place last World Cup. Now they are Olympic gold medalists in the Olympics, which that's a totally different team. So come next year in Paris 2024, yeah, it's going to be a totally different team.
Yeah, it's gonna be a different team. This is the World Championship, so we'll see. That's a solid team. I wouldn't be surprised if they place like second or third with that squad.
Yeah, young defensive team. You know, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
I'm a type. I like international basketball. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Yeah, I like it too. Different style of play.
Right. Hold on, I'm just looking at something. Yeah, with the signing with 3-year, $126 million for Kyrie Irving. He goes to Dallas. Chris Middleton signs a 3-year, $102 million deal with the Bucks. Kyle Kuzma signed a 4-year, $102 million deal with the Wizards. Karis LeVert signs a 2-year, $32 million deal with the Cavs. Jeremy Grant, 5-year, $160 million deal with the Blazers. Bruce Brown, like I said, a 2-year, $45 million deal with the Pacers. DeAndre Jordan returns to the Nuggets. Teron Prince, he signs with the Lakers from the Wolves. Kobe White signed a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Bulls. And also, Fred VanVleet signed a massive $160 million deal with Houston.
Yeah.
I see what Houston's trying to do. It looks kind of interesting what they're doing. I mean, do you think they can even make some kind of moves
They possibly
this
can.
season?
They possibly can. I do like signing the Van Fleet, even though I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted Philly to get up on that, you know, but they wasn't trying to break that kind of bread, you know. So I like it that it's gonna be his team. It's gonna be Van Fleet's team. I'm curious to see what he does with it.
Right. Yeah, very, very, very interesting with Houston. I'm trying to look at their roster right now and see the signings they have. Yeah, because they did pick up someone else. I think was it? Yeah, it was Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is a 4-year, $80 million deal.
Yeah, 4-year, $80 million.
I think they overpaid for him. Van Vliet, a 3-year, $130 million deal. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure about that. About that Dylan Brooks deal. He's a good defensive player. As far as $20 million a year, I'm not sure.
Hey, the Golden State signed Draymond.
Yes, they did sign 4 years, $100 million deal.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies re-signed Desmond Baines for that max deal, 5 years, over $200 million.
Ooh.
And also Derrick Rose goes back to Memphis. He signs a 2-year deal with the Grizzlies as well. Remember, he played for University of Memphis. For one season, took them to the national championship.
Couldn't hit their foul shots.
Right, they lost to Michigan State. Matter of fact,
nope, they lost to Kansas.
Kansas, okay.
Yeah, Mario Chalmers was on that team.
Right, exactly. Yep. So, and he's gonna actually have the number 23 back from his college days. Hopefully, this is that whole, I go back, not going back home, to Chicago, but going back home where it all started. From college, and maybe this is his last year to retire. I think it's time for him to retire.
We'll see.
Could he possibly be a Hall of Famer?
Nah.
No, you don't think so? Yeah,
No.
Injuries really,
It's a couple of guys in the Basketball Hall of Fame now they got in there that I don't think should be in there. So,
yeah, there is. I was, the player I was really shocked. And people debate this for me forever. Tracy McGrady.
No, I wouldn't be doing that. I'm just like, like you know, I'm like, okay. I don't know.
That's something I couldn't believe. I said Tracy McGrady got in.
Yeah. I remember Jalen Rose talked about that because he saw some people that was up for it. Like when he came up for the Hall of Fame because he still is eligible. He said he saw Kurt Heinrich because all these people over there.
Wow.
And he said, man, if Kurt Heinrich get in, come on. Jalen Rose had a solid career. Had a solid career.
Not
So-
Hall of Fame.
No, not Hall of Fame, but he had a solid career. So you know, it's just a few people. Some people argue with me when I say I had somebody arguing against me when I said Reggie Miller should be in the Hall of Fame. They told me that he shouldn't. I was like, Reggie was cold, man. He was cold.
Wow.
Man, no, that's another discussion.
Yeah, but Derrick Rose, no. It could have been. Like, if he didn't get injured, if he was on that trajectory where he was going after that MVP season, man, it could have been something special.
Oh yeah, man.
You know.
Oh my goodness, man.
But I want to get into this next story, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Vegas, you know, you have the NBA Summer League in Vegas, and
Yes.
the biggest star, the biggest player right now is Frenchman Victor Wembanyama. So, you know, this is from TMZ and ESPN and sorts. Well, he was at a dinner and someone wanted to congratulate him and tried to tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And his security team smacked this woman clear across the face, as to say, you know, back the F up, right?
Oh, it was in the face. I thought they slapped their hand
Backhanded.
on her face.
And this
Woo.
person so happened to be Britney Spears,
Woo.
who has a residency, you know, in Vegas.
In Vegas, yes.
And she did make a statement, you know, saying that she didn't get an apology. You know, she was just trying to tap him on the shoulder. Wembanyama and his people said that she tried to grab him, like you know, grab him, but he didn't know who it was, and the security kind of just, you know, there's actually videotape of it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's in Vegas, so, but I think if the video shows that security did too much, Victor's gonna have to fire some people in his team because they need to know who is around and who is who.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, there's no reason. There's no reason to turn around and slap a woman, especially a woman. Britney Spears is not that tall, so like she's not a real big woman. There's no reason. I'm not saying that a big tall woman should deserve to get hit. I'm not saying that either. but she was no threat, and I need to see the video. I just read the story, and I'm like, yo, why would you turn around and just want to just backhand a woman? I mean, come on, man. Just
Right.
you're supposed to de-escalate, not escalate.
Not even that.
De-escalate.
It's Britney Spears.
Yeah.
You could turn around and see who that is. Like, oh, I'm sorry, that's Britney
Britney
Spears.
Spears.
You want to take a picture with
Yeah.
this
It's
7'7" guy, or
yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's
Like,
Britney Spears, man. Like,
if you
come
don't
on,
know,
man.
if your security team does not know who Britney Spears is, they deserve to be fired. You're in Vegas. You're gonna be around so many celebrities.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right now at this moment the biggest star in basketball.
Yeah, at this moment, yes, he is.
And I'm saying that because the summer league's playing, a bunch of rookies are playing right now, second year, third year players.
Yeah.
So right at this moment, he is the biggest basketball star. That's why he has a security team and everything like that. But as a security team, you gotta be smarter than that, right?
Yeah,
you
you
would think
do.
so.
You know, and And I know some people want to try to comment out there saying, well, when was the last time Britney Spears was real big and this and that? No, but you still know who Britney Spears is. Come on
Right,
now.
exactly. So, well, with that being said, we got to come back with more Keep 1 Million Show.
I'm gonna do. I was gonna do that at the break. Put that fan on.
Huh?
I was gonna put that fan on at the break.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's hot as hell.
I was like, man, burn up a
What the
man.
hell was the video? TMZ got it. They show pictures.
God damn it. I know who the heck
Hey,
it was
what's
Britney
going on?
Spears, man. You know what I'm saying? Would y'all like me to give you that Britney Spears, man? My loneliness is killing me. I hope you nest. I still, you know what I'm saying? Bitch out to Britney Spears, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how you
Mark
gonna-
my word all day.
How you
You know what
gonna
I'm
hit?
saying? I'm
How
about
you
to go
gonna hit
live right now
Britney
with y'all right
Spears?
now, man.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mark my word, you know what I'm saying? Yo.
You got the camera behind
You know what I'm
you.
saying? Oh, we got the cameras too. You know what I'm saying? You want me to do that little Britney Spears? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Can I do the Britney? Oops, I get it in. I break your heart. And what's in it? Okay, I'm here for this, man. Mark my word. Give me the 1 million. You know what I'm saying? Yo, ESPN. What's up with y'all, man? What's up with ESPN, man? What's up with your boys, man? What's up, man? Hey, look, man, y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned. Because I got some stuff about, you know what I'm saying? That guy Jalen Rose, my brother
Yeah,
Jalen Rose.
Jalen.
Why Jalen? Why Jalen, man? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Man, give me the 1 million, man. KRDP, man. Y'all already know, man. Live and direct right now, man. ESPN, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see me over there. You know, y'all hire me, all right? Stephen A. Smith, all right? Hire me, Stephen A. Call me, hire me, 602-633-2662, you know what I'm saying? Hire me, man, you know what I'm saying? Salute, you know what I'm saying? Keeping that 1 million, you know what I'm saying? I'm live right now. Those are the brothers, you know what I'm saying?
What's up?
Yes, indeed. We are live right now. I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go right here. But I just came to make sure that you guys are blessed indeed. And why is this thing is not cutting off? What is going on? Look, am I going live?
I don't know, man.
Okay, so
Yeah, we
okay,
gotta get back on though.
all right.
We gotta get back on. All right. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean Big.
And if y'all seen on YouTube and Instagram, that was
The man from Breeze right
Yaga
there.
Movement.
The myth, the
Radio
man, the legend.
Cast. That was Mr. Yaga. Photo bombing, video bombing, whatever.
Man.
You know, appreciate him. Watch his show on Saturdays.
Dope show. Love it.
The Yaga Movement Radio Cast.
Mhm.
And yeah, going back real quick, before we get to the next topic, is that, and I'm seeing this thing is going like huge right now with the Wembayama and
Oh, and the Britney.
Britney Spears thing, and it's pretty big right now. The thing is, like I said, if you don't know who Britney Spears is, like do the security has to have some kind of like flashcards of celebrities? You know what I'm saying? Like, to know who's who, like, you know what I mean? You got a whole new generation out here, you know, and they may not know who certain people are. So
That is
when
true.
Mayama's 19 years old,
That is.
I don't know
true.
if he knows who Britney Spears is,
Yeah.
but your security detail needs to know who Britney Spears is.
Yeah.
Right? You got a whole new generation. I mean, you're going to have some tests. You're in Vegas, or you're in Miami, or you're in, you know, these places where there's going to be a concentration of celebrities, especially at the stadium, down low, you know, in the front row, on the floor. And be honest with you, in San Antonio, there's celebrities there in San Antonio
Yeah,
who are big-time Spurs fans.
Yeah, you get some.
You know, I think one Eva Longoria. You know, there's certain other fans,
Oh,
other celebrities out.
Oh,
you
she's
know.
still a Spurs fan?
I think so.
Yeah,
I just thought about that.
Okay.
So maybe she still is. I'm not sure if she's from the area, from Texas, but I don't. She might have been.
Okay, no.
She might have been. I mean, if
Okay.
anybody knows, she was married to Tony Parker.
Yeah, he just bought a castle.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, hey, y'all younger generation, y'all need to get up on who these Gen X celebrities and Boomer celebrities and know who that is. Gonna be us smacking
Smacking Jack
celebrities.
Nicklaus.
Right, exactly.
Jack
Punch Jack Nicholson in the
Punch Jack
face
Nicholson.
because he's in your space, and it's like, wait a minute, hold on, that's one of the greatest actors of all time. That's The Shining. What are you doing?
Did you just hit the Joker?
Right. Wait, what's The Shining? What is that? Right? It's like, no.
Oh, he's
you
the
need to-
Joker. I thought that was Heath Ledger.
Right, exactly. So yeah, y'all need to get up on y'all celebrity, y'all old timey movies in the 1900s. You know what I'm saying? So, but I want to say this next subject we're gonna talk about is a very I want to say touchy subject, but it's a messed up issue because you don't want to see people getting fired.
Nah.
And
Believe it or not, even people I don't like seeing them get fired.
ESPN had this past week had a huge layoffs.
Yeah, layoffs.
And not just of like behind the scenes people or people you don't know.
Yeah.
These are major layoffs of actual people we know, we've seen before, we watched on TV for years and years. Jalen Rose is one. Jeff Van Gundy, LaFonso Ellis, Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, Susie Colbert. There's a lot of others around. There's around 20.
Todd McShay.
Todd McShay, right?
I mean, man, I said Todd McShay. That's the college football dude. That's the NFL draft dude.
Yes.
I like, man.
And that was all to cut salary.
It was budget. It was about money. It's about budget.
Right. The thing is, they just made a big deal with Pat McAfee. You guys don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, an ex-football player with the
Indianapolis
Colts. He was a punter.
He's a punter, yeah.
And he ended up in the sports media space. Got big online. ESPN had picked him up. Was on the college football thing, and they didn't know what to do with him. He was kind of loud, boisterous, spewing profanities and whatnot. And that's a butler, family friendly. So they let him go. Then he goes back to YouTube and just destroys the algorithm. I mean, as soon as he comes on, he's at 30,000 views live every time their show is on. So
he's killing it.
This past year, they bring him back, and not just a regular deal. It's like a football salary, 5 years, $85 million. It's like, whoa, is that more than Stephen A. Smith?
No, it's not more than Stephen A. But it's a lot of money.
Right, and you see, there was other firings and layoffs before earlier this year.
Yep.
And from what I was researching and talking and watching people talk about it, it had to do with fiscal. They had to get to under a certain amount of number before the third quarter, and all this, financial jargon stuff. But they get rid of not just the big name personalities, but the big money personalities. These guys are making, $8 to $10 million a year. They've been there for 14, 15 years.
Yeah. Susie
Colbert's been there for almost 30.
Yeah.
She's been, following the NFL, reporting the NFL. And it's kind of sad because, these are people that if you're an NFL ESPN fan, grew up watching for forever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it was like the old sports center. The old sports center and the old ESPN is not around, like the
Exactly.
the Stu Scotts.
right, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And the boomers and all that.
Exactly.
It's no longer like that. They transitioned. I remember back when people first started blogging, you know, and doing stuff on YouTube. People that worked at ESPN, a lot of journalists looked down on that. But then they started picking up,
Right.
and they started seeing how much money these guys was making, guys and
Right.
young ladies independently, and ESPN.
And then I have a question: is this? And I haven't heard anybody ask this question. Is this ESPN waving the white flag, saying the new sports media has won? Because the thing is, you have the Draymond Greens of the world. You have, you know, the Robert Littau's, who actually kind of in the beginning of this, you know, new sports media, and
You got all the smoke and stuff like that.
Right, you know, and they're getting independent deals, Showtime with this and that,
Yeah.
making
Yes,
big money.
yes.
Is this them trying to be pivoting, or is this them saying, "Hey, you guys won. We're gonna have to really change everything about, you know, about what we do."
You could say it's that because ESPN is still a brand. It's still a huge brand. So you could say that, but it's changing with the time. It's like, okay, we're starting to see. Think about it. The people I listen to on YouTube and I subscribe to, like this one guy named Flimlo Rap. You know, he just does like. And he does a lot of short bites. That's what a lot of people do. They do these short bites, and you can get your information from a 60-second bite.
Right.
So ESPN is starting to catch on to that. Not that ESPN is going to do that the whole day,
Right.
but they start to see like, hey, these podcasts are it's working.
Right, and another thing is, especially with Pat McAfee, he has Aaron Rodgers in his pocket, and now since
I forgot about that.
Now since Aaron Rodgers is in New York, the biggest media market in the nation, they have to pivot to get him on ESPN somehow, because he's professed and said, "I'm not messing with ESPN no more." After they let go of Kenny Mayne, that was his guy. That's the person he only was being interviewed by.
I forgot about Kenny Mayne.
Kenny Mayne is gone. Another guy who just I guess retired, but I guess he was gonna get laid off. The guy that's on the late night Sports Center.
Talking about Van Pelt?
Not Van Pelt. He's still there. There's another guy who's like from he's like from Seattle or Washington or something.
Okay.
He's on the West Coast Sports Center. Well, I forget his name, but he ended up retired. Neil Everett, that's his name.
Oh, Neil Everett, yeah.
Neil Everett, he retired, but I think he was gonna get laid off, but he retired first.
Yeah, collect the pension.
And then you also have Cameron and Mace. They
Oh,
have that sports show. It Is What It Is,
It
and
Is
that
What
is
It Is.
hilarious, and it's picking up steam. Stephen A. Smith
Stephen A. Smith was on there.
on the show.
I saw that one. Mhm.
You know, and they have their co-host. Their woman is very talented, and she has
She's
she
real
has some
good.
media credentials.
Yeah,
she has
yeah.
an awards and stuff.
Mhm.
So they're really in that space. And when you see things like that picking up steam on YouTube and on other platforms, and big companies giving them shine, and that has ESPN looking like, okay, we're going to have to pivot somehow, but to break up some of the things they did break up, like especially Van Gundy, breaking up that trio with him and Mark Jackson and Mike Green. I hate that.
I didn't like
You
that.
know,
that was a great trio.
That sucked. That really sucks, because you put in they're gonna put in Doris Burke in there. Those three are gonna cover the NBA Finals and whatnot. But those three were special. That's got, I think they're in the Media Hall of Fame or whatnot, like Mike and all that. But for them to just pick and choose who to make, I'd say it's got to be like going against the cap. You know what I mean? You gotta get under a certain amount of dollars.
And ESPN is also looking at it like not just with sports podcasts. They're just looking at podcasts in general, looking at who blew up. Like I could just rattle off some that blew up. Like you got Drink Champs. You got $1 million worth of game. You got Joe Button. I mean, these guys made a lane for themselves with this, Charlemagne and all those. Like
Mhm.
they made a lane for themselves, and ESPN's like, yo, we can,
And-
like you said, the Pivot podcast, the I Am Athlete.
Yeah, speaking of.
Yeah, so,
And they had some people over there was on ESPN and they left ESPN to do their own thing,
Oh, Ryan Clark left.
Right. I don't think he left per se, but it's
Okay.
like he's not on there as much.
He's not. I do know that. Yeah. okay.
So it seems to me like, and another problem with ESPN, they don't do the digital space well. The radio is going under.
Oh yeah.
Podcasting's not that great. I don't know what they're trying to do, but
If you
they're gonna
notice
have
the
to
ones
find
that,
out before September.
if you notice the ones that do a podcast, they do it on their own. Stephen A. Smith does his on his own.
Right,
Ryan
he's on
Clark doing
YouTube.
his on his own.
Right, exactly.
I just looked at Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, another podcast, and
That's huge.
Stephen A. was on that, and he was talking about how it's his podcast. He runs it how he wants to run it.
He
And
doesn't want to be tied down to
I
something
actually
like
like his
ESPN.
podcast better.
Right.
Because you could tell this is authentically him.
Right.
So I like it better.
Well, my last question is, now with the Jalen Roses and the Max Kellermans of the world that now are, looking for other opportunities.
Yeah, free agents.
Do you think they go that route as far as going to YouTube, because Jalen Rose, he has other things going on, so
he has a podcast.
He's an ex NBA player, so his pockets ain't gonna hurt. None of these guys' pockets are hurting.
No,
They're
no,
not gonna
no,
be
no.
like, I'm gonna be out of house and home in a few months. No. But do you think Jalen Rose can pivot to be maybe jump on another podcast, get his own? Matt Kellerman with boxing. Does he go back to HBO? Maybe he was on HBO before and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
I can see Max Kellerman going back to boxing and doing like a boxing podcast like Sean Porter does. I can see him doing that and going back to HBO or Showtime, wherever he wants to go, because he's one of the best boxing analysts out there. I can see that.
Yeah.
Jalen Rose does have a podcast called Renaissance Man.
yeah.
So he
it's
was
like
actually
with the New York Post or New
yeah,
York
like
Times
New
or
York
something
Times,
like
yeah.
that.
And he actually was doing that type of stuff some years ago.
Well, he
Like-
was on TNT.
Yeah, when he was doing like
on
little
TNT,
videos, like YouTube videos. That's how he was doing.
Right.
So
he was on
he'll be fine.
TNT doing the correspondence back in the day. I mean, he's been in the space for at least 20 years. Almost 20 years after his NBA career.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I think Jeff Van Gundy, he may go to TNT.
Yeah,
I
he
would
may
think
do
so,
that.
or somewhere else, maybe CBS. I mean, Fox Sports may pick up some of these people as they did with other ESPN analysts. And like I said, when you have the Monday Night Football crew that they brought over from Fox,
Yeah.
Troy Aikman, and they gave them a whole ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
You got Stephen A. Smith with all the money they gave him. Mike Greenberg.
Mm-hmm.
Now Pat McAfee. Yeah, they had to get under a certain amount of money, and it sucks that the people that they let go is some of the people that we know for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get back on their feet, and we're going to see what happens, with sports media in the next few months.
The next few months.
I'm going to talk about something also sports media related, because Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless is no more on the Undisputed, and Skip Bayless is having some issues. So we're going to talk about that in the next hour. We're going to talk more, sports. We're going to also talk some social media. If anybody knows about the new Threads app, we're going to get into that and a lot more. So keep it locked right here. The Keep 1 Million Show.
Corner 59th Avenue in Bell, Glendale, Arizona. Performers include Big Pete Pearson, Beth Lederman, The Sugar Thieves, and Charles Lewis. WestsideBlues.com. Also on Facebook.
So since we were talking about that,
Westside Jazz and Blues.
we'll bring up the
Broadcasting from the Phoenix Center for the Arts, you're tuned
Undisputed
to R&B,
situation.
jazz, and indie.
Bring
When
that
it
up
comes to
and
talk,
then get
sing,
into
connect. KRDP, Apache
Threads.
Junction, Goldfield Ghost Town, Phoenix, 90.7 FM in the East Valley, and online at Listen, the number 2, KRDP.com, a service of Desert Soul Media.
Views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Desert Soul Media and its board of directors. Thank you for listening.
This week on the Keep 1 Million show, Dame Lillard wants out at Portland. We're going to talk what's the best team for Damian Lillard besides Miami, as Portland is looking for the best deal. We're also going to talk in the dog days of summer. There's going to be some big dog fights this summer as boxing has some key fights in the heavyweight and the middleweight divisions. We're also going to get into Mark Zuckerberg just unveiled a brand new app that may change social media. Are you on Threads? We're also going to get into ESPN just had a major shakeup as a lot of their key personalities has got the axe. We're going to talk about that and more from the past week of the sports world and beyond right here on the Keep It 1 Million show.
And Shane's like he's living his best life.
Who?
Shane Sharp.
Oh yeah.
He's in New Orleans. The Essence Festival was.
Oh yeah, that's what just happened.
Did you watch that or did you see about that? We can talk about.
I heard
that.
they had the vendors. I don't know what happened, but I heard the vendors were having problems at the Essence Festival.
Yeah. Drink some water. Hey, thanks. Thanks for watching. I'll be right back. We're gonna come back in about 2 minutes. And DJ, my complex Instagram. I'm going back on right now. I shot him all too.
Oh, it's on that.
Hey, check out the music on KRDP. Listen to number 2, KRDP.com or 90.7 FM. Right now, we got on Nipsey Hussle Dedication.
Good song.
Oh, you don't have headphones.
I heard Dedication before I liked it.
Huh?
I heard Dedication before I liked that song.
That whole album.
Yeah, Victory Lap. Yeah, Victory Lap. Dope album.
Yeah, man.
Dedication.
We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting.
back. Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean Pay.
And it is July 6, 2023. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July week.
You sure it's the 6th?
Extended. It is the 6th.
Today's Thursday, though, right?
Yeah. It's you know, that
That's the 7th, right?
holidays extended and everything like that. So, since the 4th of July was on a Tuesday, you know, everybody, hopefully y'all,
Oh, snap.
hopefully y'all didn't have to
That
call
calendar
out
is
of work.
wrong. We got the calendar wrong. That's July 2022.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
And, right, it's the 6th, 2023. And, we was just talking about ESPN, you know, letting go of some of their
talents.
You know, big name talent. Like I said, that radio show, that morning show with Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, that's over.
Yep. Keyshawn got
It
let
was
go,
crazy.
too.
I was trying to listen in the morning. I'm like, wait a minute, they let him go that quickly? Like, it's a totally different show. It's some totally different people. Well, anyway, I remember after the NBA Finals, Shannon Sharp left undisputed, right? You know, he has his own show, Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
And something that's very huge in sports media world is Skip Bayless said is going to take a 2-month hiatus because he's struggling to replace Shannon Sharp. Quote, Shannon's exit moved way faster than expected, so they have no choice but to go on hiatus. Source had told some people, FOS, which is it's a page on Twitter that, you know, goes deep into sports media. Skip has never done anything like this during his years at FS1 or ESPN. Not being on there all these NBA moves is killing him. Source added, this was so dumb. They had the best partnership. There, 3 stars in the morning. Skip, Stephen A. and Shannon, and Fox had 2 of them. That was true. And then the thing is, maybe it was a money situation, maybe it was a pride situation, maybe it was both, but Shannon Sharp is way more valuable than he was, I think it was back in 2016.
When they started? Yeah.
You know, and with what we watched on that show in the past 6 months, I understand wholeheartedly why he left that show. I don't understand why they didn't try to keep him, because they were on pace to beat First Take day in and day out. You know, I was watching them way more than First Take. So
yeah, I was watching them. I probably watched them more than First Take, but the ratings show different. The ratings said that First Take has been #1 for 11 years. Nobody said it's actually.
Yeah, they've been #1.
So now what you had just said in there, like people don't know what it was. I believe it was that blow up they had about the whole Tom Brady thing. I mean, Skip totally disrespected Shannon on TV. I mean, he made it seem like he was a bum. He was like, he said, I'm in the freaking Hall of Fame. And then Skip gonna say, so what? I'm like, so what?
Right.
So what? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man.
Huge disrespect. I think you can't get past that without throwing hands. And it's not going to be
Oh,
that.
no, he ain't
They're not
that.
going to do that. Of course not. It's too much money to be made, and then it's grown men, and
Nobody wants to, I always say, nobody want to see, 50-year-old men fighting little 60-year-old something, man.
And I don't know how old Skip Bayless is.
Yeah, like it says, too much money, man. Y'all make way too much money for that. If you ain't a professional fighter, you shouldn't be fighting. You making that much money. Come on now. Way too much money.
But with that being said, I think Shannon couldn't stay.
Nah.
Because people were looking at him sideways. With all the takes he was saying and all the times he was agreeing with Skip and having to bite his tongue and swallow his pride, a lot of people looking at him sideways.
Yeah.
So for him to leave, he had to keep his respect intact. So I think a lot of bigger things going to happen for Shannon Sharp. But Skip Bayless, on the other hand, excuse me, with Skip Bayless, on the other hand, a 2-month hiatus is like a lifetime in this industry. If I don't hear Skip Bayless for months on end, I'm going to forget about him. And as a and I'm in this industry, but as a normal fan, you're going to jump to somewhere else, to someone else, you know,
Yeah.
Colin Cowherd or someone else, or even, you know, back and forth on ESPN and Fox, or on, like we talked about, YouTube and the people on YouTube. Can Skip even survive this?
Oh yeah, he can survive it. He can survive it, especially if they get a good co-host. Honestly, they talk about a lot of the co-hosts that he can get. And they said Shady, they said Chris Broussard, Rob Parker. They said Shady. I said no, none of them. I said, you know what it should be? I said
Who's that?
Joy Taylor.
Yeah. That
Joy
one,
Taylor.
She'd eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Joy
But-
Taylor.
They was saying that Lil Wayne was going to be a bigger part of the show, since, you know, he has the
Song
theme
intro.
song or whatever, and they're like really good friends. But
I don't want to see Lil Wayne and Skip
well,
talking about debating about sports. I'm good.
well, the thing is, yeah, it's going to be a love and grief fest. But the thing is, I think he's too busy for that, to be just strictly in LA.
I'm talking about
for
Wayne.
whenever, yeah. So I think he may have said that even out of turn, and Wayne would probably look like, wait a minute, I'm gonna do what? Like, we can kick it, but I'm not be on your show. So when he probably got the stiff arm from Wayne, now he's got to be on hiatus because he ain't got nobody to co-host with, and that is a bigger problem for Skip Bayless, because as you see, Stephen A. Smith, he's on YouTube. And he's actually blowing up by himself on YouTube,
Yeah.
even more so than First Take. That says a lot about Skip can't do some show by himself.
Yeah, think about it. Shannon started blowing up too when he did at the whole Club Shay Shay thing. I think when I believe, like, when because he was saying, he was shouting out Club Shay Shay way before he put it on YouTube. He was like, he had the persona of Unc and this, that, and the third, and then he flipped it and was like, yo, I can flip it, and then it blew up. He was getting guests on there that I believe didn't want to go on there with Skip, you know. So
Right.
So they,
exactly.
I mean, he getting.
It came
some
out
good
with
guests.
he comes out with his own liquor,
Oh yeah, his own liquor. Yep.
and also, I think what really blew his show up, because it was doing good numbers on YouTube, but when he had that interview with Deion Sanders, right after Deion goes to Colorado.
Yeah.
And he had a huge interview. He went to Colorado.
Yeah,
he went to the stadium. They did a whole, like, how he redid the whole stadium and redid all the facilities and whatnot, and joked with him about his toe and, you know, all of that. It literally had millions of views within hours.
Yeah.
Within hours. And, like, this is right after the whole controversy where people were kind of iffy on Deion, and people were dogging Deion, and he went up there to show him love. And that, I think that really solidified that Shannon Sharp can do this on his own without Skip. He has his own audience without Skip. He can make his own money in media without Skip, without Fox. That's bigger than just without Skip, without Fox backing him. And I think that was like the beginning of, I got to step away and do my own thing.
He can almost be like take that Pat McAfee spot. He can take that Pat McAfee formula and do it.
Right.
You can't.
And
Pat
have a
McAfee was
couple of
making
people.
bread.
We have a couple people with him.
Yeah.
There's another guy, Rich Eisen, the Dan Levitard. They went to DraftKings, have their own thing. Dan Patrick has his own thing.
Yeah.
So they're, you know, these are ex ESPN guys that blew up way bigger than they were on ESPN on their own platforms and on other platforms such as DraftKings.
And I know she's not your favorite. She's not your favorite, but Jamel Hill, when she cut her deal with Spotify, You know,
well, there's a little issue.
No, it's an issue
with
now.
that.
But I'm talking about when she
Right,
first did it.
right,
It's
right.
an issue now, but
Yeah, that's kind of a weird issue, weird thing. Is I guess she went overboard. You know what I mean? She said some things that Spotify was like, wait a minute, we're not going to do all that. We're not going to pay you $100 million. Or he said something like she should get the deal like Joe Rogan or something like that.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
What
I
are you
agree
talking
that.
about? Like, wait a minute. Hold, pump
I
your
know
brakes. You ain't that high.
Spotify didn't give him that deal though, did they?
His deal is massive. I don't know
No, I
what
know
kind
his
of
deal
deal
is
it is,
massive.
but it may not be $100 million, but it's close.
Oh no, but he has like, doesn't he have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube?
He has way over 1 million.
Yeah,
Way
I know,
over,
I know.
and he gets millions of views.
Mhm.
The short stories is get millions of views.
Yeah.
And they just talk about random off the wall
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with anything. They're just talking, and he gets millions and millions of views. So, back to the sports media aspect of it.
Mhm.
I think Shannon Sharp can do well anywhere he goes.
Yeah.
He's found his formula. He's found his niche.
Yeah,
He's found that he can talk about all different types of sports.
yeah.
You know, and
And he's a good interviewer. He
Yeah,
has
he's a
he
great
has over
interviewer.
1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's
Wow.
good. And, yeah,
he's only been doing it for like maybe a year or two on YouTube.
yeah, about a
Wow,
year and a
that's
half.
fast.
Yeah.
That is fast.
hmm
So yeah, me personally, I think it's the end for Skip Bayless. If he can't, because September is the new season
Yeah, it is.
of media, of television and whatnot. If they can't get him a good co-host by September, that show's over. If he can't do it by himself, I mean, his YouTube show, I mean, that's non-existent. He has a YouTube show, but it's not
Oh, he does.
doing any numbers. Right, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't even know about it.
No.
I've seen him like, wait a minute, he has his own show. He
I
was
knew he
trying
had
to
his
do
own
the Stephen A.
podcast, but-
Smith. Yeah, right. He tried to do the Stephen A. Smith thing. It's not working. No one wants to listen about the Cowboys. No one wants to listen about Tom Brady. No one wants to listen about the same things over and over and over
Or
and
the
over
Spurs. He
again.
talks about the
Right,
Spurs
over
pod.
and over again. I mean, now it may be a good thing with Wembanyama's situation, but still, it's like I don't want to listen to that. I need something fresh, something new, and unfortunately, I think he's going to be ESPN adjacent casualty with this whole situation with Shannon Sharp. You know, we're going to come right back. We're going to talk about the new app Threads that just came on the scene a couple days ago, and this is probably the fastest growing app in the history of applications of computers ever. So we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna get into some boxing, as there's some big boxing fights coming on next
sir.
month. So just keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million Show.
As in spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but Miss Araceli, she gave me direction.
At age 47, Marco finished his high school diploma.
50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager.
Okay, we're back. Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean Bay.
And I'm just kind of getting things together here. So, if you don't know, which you should know, there's a new app There's a few new apps, but this one is, I would say, me personally, I wouldn't call it a game changer, but they're calling it a game changer. Huge game changer in social media space, as Mark Zuckerberg and Meta has launched Threads. And Threads is an app that is linked to your Instagram account. So when you're on Instagram, you can, you download the app and it can literally port all your information, all of your followers and whatnot onto Threads. And, the interface looks just like Twitter. Has some Facebook feel to it. Looks mainly like Twitter. A lot of things that Twitter has. And how big is it? It literally is at like around 30 million users in around 24 hours. That is most likely the biggest, that is by far the biggest jump of users, in the history of social media. It was at like 10 million users or subscribers in like 7 hours. This is gonna make Meta and Mark Zuckerberg a ton of money immediately. Everybody's calling this a win, a quote-unquote knockout blow to Twitter, mainly because of the things Twitter has been doing, limiting users, posts, limiting how long you're on Twitter for, and having a lot of data issues, and a lot of people complaining about the extremeness of Twitter. But if you haven't been on Twitter in say, longer tthan 5 years, actually this is tame, because years and years ago when it first came out, I think it came out in 2007, same time as Facebook, but in around 2010, 2012, 2013, Twitter was, it was crazy. There was a whole lot going on Twitter back then. This is really tame now. It's gone real political. All social media has been politicized heavily. I'm not sure if you know about Threads, but what do you think about that?
It's a competition. It's just competition, and it just adds more fuel to the fire of Zuckerberg and Elon Musk wanting to fight and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So this social media thing is going crazy, and I didn't even hear about Threads until you told me about it before the show. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And you broke it down. I was like,
it was actually #1 on Twitter when it came out, and a lot of people were talking crap about it. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's bad, maybe it's good. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. I'm used to Twitter right now.
Twitter. I remember back in the day when Twitter was the Wild Wild West, baby. You could say almost anything you wanted to say, and then they started policing you. Facebook used to be like that too.
Exactly. So, yeah. So, like I said, it's kind of tame now. People are kind of just going against Elon Musk for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't see what it is. He doesn't pay my bills. For me personally, so I don't even care.
I never thought he was that bad.
Right. His talking points, he's a very conservative person or whatnot. I guess a right winger, if you want to say. That means nothing to me. But when it comes to this Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk, that's something to me. That's very interesting to me if they really fight, because you know what? Zuckerberg is a fighter.
Yeah,
he's a fighter. He does jiu-jitsu and UFC style fights, and has won some fights.
Yeah, and he's actually tall. He's kind of tall. Like, 6 foot.
Yeah, it's about 6 in his
I
6
think
foot.
Elon Musk's only like about
he's a
5'6".
lot. Yeah, he's a lot taller than Elon Musk and a lot younger than Elon Musk. There is a Italian official that's had put out that if they do fight, they can fight at the Coliseum. The Coliseum, like wow. And I posted, well, whoever wins should buy the Coliseum. Like that should be the winner, or no, whoever loses should have to buy the Coliseum for the winner.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? You know, if Elon wins, Zuck has to buy the Coliseum and put it in the name of Twitter. You know, vice versa. That was just me saying that.
That's crazy.
But the thing is, this is just really them going at each other.
Yeah.
I think the Threads thing is gonna cool down because every new app gets hot and then it cools down after a while.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
But my question is also, if you're going crazy about this new Meta app, what about all the black apps that came out in the past year and a half? And the new app that just came out, Spill, where everybody was talking about that, you know, in the past week or so. There's another app called Blackem, BLKEM, and these are all social media sites run, operated, owned by black people, African Americans, black Americans, whatever you want to call us. There's another one called Fanbase, which is similar to Instagram. Should we migrate to those apps if you want to versus Threads?
Well, you know,
or is everybody gonna, you know, migrate to where everyone else migrates to, which is Threads?
You know, I'm not one to tell people to do their life. I'm spending money, I'm spending time, or anything like that. I just know I do like to support black, and I have done it with. It was 1 year ago. It was called I think it was called Black Spot or something like that. It was years ago, and I got on that and was doing my thing, and then it phased out. It fizzled out.
Right,
So,
the money, the data, the space, and all that, they don't have enough, the capital. So, you know, that's always an issue when it comes to black business, period. So, I think we need to support those
definitely
businesses
support.
as well. Yeah, get on Threads and whatnot, but also get on these black-owned apps as well. I just seen right now, Montrezl Harrell agreed to a 1 year deal to return to the 76ers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so there's that. You know, free agency is still going on. And what do you think about what's going on with the Damian Lillard situation? Like we've talked about it, but him only wanted to go to Miami. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think he needs to probably kind of maybe broaden his horizons to maybe facilitate a trade easier? So maybe if he does, he can, you know, maybe end up in Miami, but say, hey, well, maybe this other team or that other team as well, so they could do a like multi-team deal.
Yeah, you know, like Shaheem, aka the Rugged Child, said, this goes on and on. You know, so we'll see. The whole thing about this is the only team I want to go to. That's you kind of picture the team in a bond. He's been in places in a bond, and it's almost to the point where, like you said earlier, it might have to be like a 5 year. Excuse me, not 5 year. 5-team trade, like a 5-team trade for Portland to be able to get the assets back and for him to be able to go to Miami.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll
exactly.
see.
Yep. And also, next we're gonna get into some boxing where I just seen today couple of heavyweight fights is going to be in August.
Okay. Okay, the big boy.
Anthony Joshua is actually going to be fighting in August.
Okay, who are you fighting?
He's going to actually fight a rematch against White.
Okay.
Dylan White. In London, August 12th. Now, if Joshua wins this fight, that sets up a mega fight between him and Deontay Wilder, which would be in, I think, sometime in December or next year, 2024, in Saudi Arabia. That's a fight that was, you know, they've been talking about this for years, and you know, a lot of other fights been up in the air and fell through, but this is supposed to happen. Wilder versus Joshua. This Joshua White fight is supposed to be a tune-up fight for him, and then also Usyk, who actually beat Joshua to become the undisputed heavyweight champion. He's going to fight Daniel Dubois August 26th.
Okay. That's
going to be in Poland. Usyk being, you know, from Ukraine, so he's going to have that fight defending the undisputed heavyweight championship. You know, and like I said, also we have, you know, the biggest fight of the year coming up, July 29th, with Crawford Spence. Do you think we're going to get some bigger heavyweight fights besides these two in August? Or are we going to see any more big fights in 2024?
The heavyweight fight I'm looking forward to, the one I wanted to see, the Anthony Joshua and Wilder. You know, I look forward to that because I believe that Joshua's the better boxer, but I also believe that Wilder can catch Joshua. So we're looking at a good style fight right there.
Brown bomber.
I'd rather see that in the heavyweight division than anything else. I don't know if Tyson Fury retired or not. I haven't seen him do anything in a while.
Well, Tyson Fury was supposed to have a couple of fights going on. Remember the Anthony Joshua fight was supposed to happen and it fell through. You know, a couple other fights fell through for whatever reason. And I would say he wants to fight, you know, but I think it has to be the right fight. You know, he said he's retired, but then he wants to come back and fight.
You know,
go ahead.
They totally blew it with the with Joshua Fury because they could have made so much money on that. They had that in London and have it around the coronation of King Charles.
Yeah,
they could have built that. I mean, they could.
And the coronation is this month, so
that would have been crazy.
Right. The thing is also, I think down the road, if everything lines up the way it should, Joshua, Wilder. If Joshua beats Wilder, fights Usyk again, beats Usyk, it has to be Joshua and Fury. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years down the road, because that's like 2-3 fights ahead. Without, I would say, without rematch clauses, right?
And those are two tough fights for Joshua. Wilder and Usyk, because you just said he lost to Usyk. So,
He's lost to Usyk twice, so maybe that fight may not happen. But and then Wilder has lost to Fury.
Yes, he did. Yeah, they're never going to do that again.
Right.
Fury already beat him twice. He's not going to do that again.
Right. So it is a difficult situation because here's the thing: what could happen as well. Wilder and Joshua fight. Wilder beats Joshua, then fights Usyk, knocks out Usyk. Now he's once again the undisputed champion. Are we going to see another Wilder Fury fight, or is that just it? Wilder's the undisputed champion. that could happen as well, because I'm
That
just saying,
could,
if
that
everything
could.
lines up here, if it lines up, Joshua wins this fight, Joshua and Wilder fights. I mean, that's
a possibility.
Right.
It's a possibility.
It's a very interesting possibility, because really, the top of the heavyweight division is only these guys. That's it.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean,
that is it.
You know,
This ain't the 70s, man. We had this ain't the 60s and the 70s. We had a plethora.
Or the 90s.
Yeah, or the 90s.
Had a lot of great heavyweights in the 90s. So, before we get to the break, you know, this Crawford Spence fight. I mean, I think you said you got Crawford.
I got Crawford late stoppage. I do, but however, I wouldn't be surprised because Earl Spence is a naturally bigger fighter. I wouldn't be surprised if Earl Spence Jr. Got this in a split decision or unanimous decision. I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. I think I'm gonna go with Spence.
Okay.
But a unanimous decision. I might change my mind. I'm not sure, but
yeah, it's a tough fight. Tough fight.
Yeah, it's July 29th in Las Vegas. I think it's a ESPN fight, pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
You know, and 2 pound-for-pound best winners, the undisputed champion, pound-for-pound champion. I mean, this is for all the marbles, the fight of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely going to watch that fight. So, with these heavyweight fights and with this fight coming up, we may be looking at a great year of boxing. Also, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez fighting later on this year in September, and there's most likely going to be some other fights as far as those winter fights in November and December. So I will say this: watch out and keep your eyes and ears glued, because there's going to be some great fights, some great knockouts, some crazy controversies in boxing. And with that being said, we're going to come right back with more Keep 1 Million Show.
Oh, you said 2 minutes?
I said, make sure this is good. I was talking about, because they keep going in and out. One more. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. Just Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And it's not our anniversary. But, Carter Richardson is back in the news.
Oh, yeah? What's up?
USA championships, track championships is going on. And, she ran a world-leading time of 10.71 in the women's 100 meters.
Okay.
Also, it's her personal best.
You sure about it? I thought she ran a 10.6 at one point. Okay.
It's saying right here, she was on NBC track and field analyst. So Bolton said USA Today Sports that 10.71 she just ran is a personal best. Looks like if the wind cooperates Friday, she could run a 10.5. Brittany Brown came in second, went 10.96. Tamira Clark rounded out with 11.2. It's on NBC Sports Twitter page if you guys want to watch that. That was the semifinals and the finals of the 100 meters are set for Friday.
Okay. Yeah, I always said if she got her head right and kept it right on and kept it on the game, the track game. Oh,
right.
She's a beast.
She's the top qualifier coming in the U.S. Championships.
Yeah, she's a monster.
You know, so she wins. You know, she's guaranteed a spot in the 2024 Olympics. Like they cannot take that away from her, like they did in the last Olympics.
Yeah, she got popped
for marijuana. And what I couldn't stand about that was the fact that you had some athletes over there in Tokyo promoting CBD and marijuana while she had to stay home because of the ban she had. I think she does have her head on straight.
Oh yeah, she does.
I think she's more focused than ever.
More focused.
And I think right now, it's her time to shine. Next year it's going to be in the Olympics in Paris, France.
Yes. Next year's Olympics, and I believe later on this year is the World Championship. I think it's in August.
Yeah, the Basketball World Championships, talked about that. They're going to be in the Philippines. I talked about the team, the roster of the basketball team. I'm not sure about the men's track team. I'm probably talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Leading up to the championship.
Yeah. Everybody's getting ready for the track and field world championship in August and everything. Now, Noah Lyles is blowing it out, blowing them out the water. So we'll see. We'll talk about it next week.
Right. For the fourth time, Kobe Bryant is going to be on the cover of NBA 2K, which is the new NBA 2K 24, which that is Kobe Bryant's one of his numbers.
24.
They're going to be two different versions, a Black Mamba edition and a Kobe Bryant edition.
Okay.
Every year they have two different editions, with the second one being having extra things and a lot of that. So a lot of that's gonna sell out because it's still so many Kobe fans.
Oh yeah.
And whatnot. And one last thing. Still looking, well, I'll bring this up. Now, you guys know about Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan, dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, right?
Yes, I heard about it.
Well, TMZ found Michael Jordan and asked him while he was jumping into his SUV.
Oh Lord!
And they asked him, "What do you feel? What do you think about the relationship? Do you approve of it?" And he screamed no.
Well,
and that's all he said, and got into the SUV.
You got to understand, this is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. We're talking about the greatest of all time, greatest basketball player of all time, billionaire. He's known to be cantankerous, and TMZ is not the most. To him, it's probably beneath him to talk to them. To him, like he's like, I'm not talking to y'all. Like, so that's probably why he answered like he did.
Well, the thing is, and it's kind of I kind of look at it a little bit differently because Scottie Pippen been going after Jordan ever since the documentary came out.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He been saying all kinds of wild stuff. Now he could have went really in and went under the bus and said he loved the relationship.
Yeah, he could have.
Right, and that could have been a real dig into Scottie Pippen, but he said he didn't like the relationship. You know, he's older now. People forget he comes from an older generation, and an older generation, it's man code. It's something
you don't talk about another man's
do.
Yeah,
not just that, but dealing with another man's ex-wife, and whatnot. If people don't know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know. And I think he does an improvement on that standpoint.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Jordan and Pippen are older men, and they deal with different rules that was rules and unwritten rules from back in the day, and I think he has to go with his morals in that sense.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I'm just saying, what I was saying is like he doesn't appreciate. He probably, I'm not trying to put words in his mouth because I don't know the man, but he probably doesn't appreciate them walking up on him like that. Like, they ask him questions about another man's personal life, and that's not cool. You don't, like, I was always brought up, you don't bring up a man's personal life and like what goes on with him and his woman and stuff like that. You don't do that. You just don't. I mean, we saw what happened with Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher.
Right.
You don't. That's something you don't deal with.
Exactly.
And it's funny because no other player said that they talked bad about Matt Barnes doing what he did. They just like, yeah.
Right.
You know, like it's certain things you don't do. You just don't do it. And this new generation, they don't care, man. It's like, and honestly, I think it's pretty because I usually don't have an issue with TMZ. It is what it is, but I asking MJ that question like that just was corny, lame. Nah, man. Ask him what he think about LeBron or something like that. Not what he think about what another man doing with all that. Nah.
Well, another TMZ type of situation I'm just reading right now. Now there's this big, huge white party everyone's talking about. It was in Hamptons. Michael Rubin, he used to own the 76ers.
Yeah.
You know, he sold the team for a lot of money, and there's like a who's who at this party. There's video of it. Well, remember months ago, I think we talked about Tom Brady and Kim Kardashian knowing each other as neighbors. I think either in Vegas or in LA, and you know, she actually spoke to Tom Brady, I guess, trying to borrow a cup of sugar, well, you know, wink, wink, right? And everyone was on the internet was like, oh my God, no, don't do it, Tom, don't do it, Tom. So now, right, exactly. So now they're saying people saw them spotted at this white party hosted by Rubin, that they were dancing, flirting with each other, and getting close. But you know, both
know where that money at.
Right, both parties are like, we're not talking about. You know, they're both divorced, whatnot.
Yeah, both single. Yeah.
Thing is, people always been talking about Kim would never date someone again as you know, high profile as Kanye West. Tom Brady is right there.
He's high
with
profile.
Kanye West may not be a billionaire, but he's most likely damn near close with all the businesses and whatnot.
I don't think Kanye's a billionaire anymore, but
yeah. Numbers. You know how that goes. He was, he wasn't, he may be, he may not be.
Yeah.
You never know the true numbers with everything went on with him. But with Tom Brady being single and everything, his business ventures, he's on his way up. You know, if stocks were Tom Brady and Kanye West stocks is down, Tom Brady stocks is up, and
Kim
Kardashian looking like she's about to buy some stock.
Yeah, the thing is, like,
You know what I mean?
Tom Brady is high profile, but Tom Brady is not as audacious as Kanye West. He doesn't run his mouth as much. He's not out there, hey, look at me. You know, he's a pretty laid back dude. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I would tell Tom Brady to audible.
Please
out.
do.
Audible out.
Remember Omaha?
Yeah. Audible out.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, man.
I don't think he wants that.
Nah, he don't want that.
And what I'm saying is, he's such a private guy, and
yeah.
when he was with Tampa Bay, that was the only time we've ever seen him out of that New England shell, that New England bubble, that whole secrecy and stuff. When he came out and he's on podcasts, he's on, doing interviews, documentaries about, the old days in New England, and he's, telling people all this stuff behind the scenes. You're like, wow, where did this come from? Now that's one level. The Kardashians are a totally different level. That's reality TV. That's not just scripted, but you're on camera every single day. I mean, granted, he's been on camera all the time, but to that level, I don't think I don't think he's not just ready for that. I don't think he wants that at all. I mean, there's a rumor that he may not join Fox. He may not pick up that contract.
Okay.
That's still up in the air. And he did just go and invest in the Las Vegas Raiders. Now he's a minority owner in that. He's also a minority owner in another. I think if not the Aces, but the hockey team.
Nice.
So he's willing and dealing right now. He has his own TB12 line. He has a lot of ventures. He has a lot of things going on. So the Kardashian thing, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, you want to do what you want to do, but as far as a relationship and being out and about like that with her, no, you don't do that.
Man, nah, bro, no.
Because remember, once is a
I can't go for that. No,
what they say? Once is a
no can do.
Once is one thing, twice is a coincidence, three times is a trend.
Yeah.
Now, if they see you guys together again somewhere else, there's going to be major talk.
Yeah. I was told that same thing a little bit different. They said once is a mistake, twice is a trend,
right.
The third time is a problem.
It's a problem. There you go.
So like I just said, like Hall & Oates, I can't go for that. Can't do. Just let it go, man. Let it go.
Right. So, we're definitely going to keep our eyes on that. And Tom Brady, don't do it.
Reconsider.
Right.
Some literature on the subject. You sure?
Right.
Bump it.
And one last thing, going back to the ESPN layoffs, and just want to say, hopefully, all those people that were laid off get on. I don't want to say get back on their feet, but get other opportunities. In other forms of media, maybe their own thing. I would think someone like Max Kellerman, Jalen Rose, can get their own thing started. Susie Colbert, she probably is, about retired. Jeff Van Gundy, he's probably going to end up probably on TNT or CBS somewhere. But those other ones, that's not as big as them. Hopefully, they get a spot somewhere. hopefully that all works out with the Damian Lillard situation.
Yeah.
That may come to a fruition in the next days, or if not weeks, and see if there's any trade. Maybe like I said, 4-team trade, 5-team trade, something. But I don't think he's going to. I don't think Portland's going to just give him up, lightly. It's going to be they're going to be kicking and screaming to want something in return.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts, Sean?
What, on Damian Lillard?
Anything.
Just Tom Brady. You can do better, man. just
right.
Just go on, man. Leave that alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just leave,
there you go.
Yeah, leave that alone.
Well, with that being said, I'm Dwayne.
Sean Pate.
And we'll see you guys next week. We'll definitely get into NFL, get into boxing, get into everything in the week of, and a lot more. So keep it locked right here. Thanks everybody on YouTube and on Instagram. Please follow, like, share KRDP. Listen to number 2, KRDP.com. And for that being said, we're out.